back to Beer Brackets, everybody. This is an epic review that is a long time coming, buddy. I can't believe it's taken us and going into our 4th year. This is a big occasion. And the Delirium beers, you know, needless to say, famous in the beer world. And we are going to be reviewing in this wonderful ceramic bottle. Look how fancy this is, buddy. The Delirium Tremens. Ready for this?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, my friend. First of all, like, we haven't tackled this name for a long time.
Right.
But second, like, it's going to be interesting because I think we both had this beer before, but in a beer review setting, always changes it somehow. And who knows what can happen.
It has been quite some time since I've had this beer, buddy. There's a little bit of a misconception with this beer. The brewery itself is not called Delirium. The brewery itself, as you see down there, is called Hugyhe. And it's a specific family that took over this location. So there's a lot of beer history in that particular building. And this one family, the Hugyhe family, took over in the early 1900s. And now the 4th generation of the family is running the brewery and looking over things and making sure that all of the beer is produced to the highest quality. So it's a family brewery, which is pretty awesome. They do have a long tradition. They have a couple of different beers in their arsenal, aside from the Delirium beers. And the Delirium beers themselves have a wide variety of different kinds you can try. We are going to be covering 2, this one and the Nocturna. Look forward to that one. But the classic Delirium Tremens is the one that we're going to be tackling today. There's so many beer legends. I kind of don't even know where to start.
Right? It's normally we know there's one and we focus on that, but here there's so many. So where to start, right?
There's so many beer legends with this beer. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm a little bit worried because not only is it a high ABV beer, we're looking at 8.5% ABV, right? But the name itself, Delirium Tremens, refers to a kind of hallucinogenic state coming out of alcohol withdrawal. So there's so much to talk about. I don't know, man. I'm a little bit worried. We're going to start seeing pink elephants jumping around the room here.
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk about the Delirium Tremens first. Like you mentioned, like, right?
It's going to be one hell of a night.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So let's explain, because people might not be familiar with that necessarily. You can also refer to DT, Delirium Tremens, and it's a state, like you explained, causes hallucination. Like tremens in Latin means like to shake, so it's a shaking feeling.
So many beer hallucinations.
Yeah, and exactly. And the second question you had is, why is there a pink elephant associated with that? Well, that's where the legend starts. Like, what we know is that outside of the brewery, there is a statue of a man holding a world, and on top of the world, there's this elephant on top. Right. And the pink elephant is like depicted everywhere. But if you start analyzing the label, there's other weird creature. There's like an alligator dancing. There's a purple dragon. There's all sorts of weird things on the label. So
people many beer hallucinations, man.
Right?
It's crazy. Right? And another beer legend that ties into that, it says that when the beer was first created, the name apparently came from a beer taxman, who was coming around to the brewery, and this new brew was unnamed at the time. This strong blonde ale. He was the one who started referring to it as Delirium Tremens, saying that I'm afraid to drink this when he heard of the high ABV, realizing how easy it was to drink, almost like the Duvel with its high ABV.
Right?
It's like, I'm worried about Delirium Tremens or going into Delirium Tremens after drinking this beer. And that's how the beer was named, supposedly, according to beer legend, which we've established is the one way to consume beer knowledge.
It is,
right?
It is a very important way, my friend. And the pink elephant, like I gotta mention this. This is another legend that can be found around.
So many legends.
Why the pink elephant? And you might remember this if you haven't watched that. You might have to go back and rewatch the movie. Like in Italian, it's called Dumbo. Hey! But in English, I think Dumbo is the correct pronunciation.
Dumbo, yeah.
Dumbo, right?
Wait, you only know the Italian name?
I only knew the Italian name. Yeah, Dumbo is the name. The way the Dumbo is like, it's not a movie that you talk about normally, so I wasn't sure.
Right, yeah, it doesn't come up in conversation every day.
But in that movie, there is a scene where the little elephant like gets a little bit tipsy, let's say, and starts dreaming. And she sees pink elephants. There might be some connections there between the hallucinations and the pink elephant. But
Well, there you go, man. I think we're all set up here. We're all set up here. Is there anything else you want to say about this style, this strong blonde Belgian beer style?
I think, my friend, we could continue, but I think we're gonna have to wait and hold on and keep adding to the legends in our next episode, because I think it's the right way. I can't wait to get back and try it together with you. So I think, what do you think? Is it ready? Right? Is it time to open it?
So many more legends, and like I said, we will be reviewing the Nocturna, and there will be even more. Perhaps the legend Order of the Pink Elephant that we will be discussing in that episode. We will see. We will see. Cheers, buddy. Let's open these up, man.
Let's do it, my friend.
Pour these beers. Let's get to it. Ooh.
Like you mentioned, the bottle itself is like this ceramic look. It's so amazing. It's incredibly recognizable.
I was looking into that, and I was trying to get some information on where the ceramic look to the bottles came from. And like most beer, there's not too much solid information out there. Like, the beer world is very mysterious, my friend. And we found this in our beer exploring, right? Like, whenever you're trying to find information about certain legends, what actually did or did not happen, there's always like a little bit of mystery and vagary going on there. And I'm sure it's completely done on purpose. The beer world just happens to be not so specific with things. But with the bottles in particular, according to legend, another Delirium legend, when they first started bottling this beer, there was a custom order made for a different drink of theirs where they ordered ceramic bottles. So they had all these bottles to use, and they wanted to reuse them in the first run. It became sort of like a distinguishing characteristic of the beer. And they kept, like, this is just sort of a sticker, right? Like a textured sticker that they put over a regular glass bottle. So they just sort of kept the look after that, apparently.
It makes you wonder when you see it on the shelf. It's definitely sticking out compared to anything else, right? Like, so it's a good strategy.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Aroma cheers, my friend.
Aroma cheers. How would you rate the aroma?
Wow, this is incredibly floral almost. Like, it has like a very, almost like a jasmine flower. Like, it's very, very aromatic. You do
very
get,
floral
obviously,
and aromatic,
underlaying tones of malt presence and a little bit of hops. But the floral component, man, to me is just like incredible, like so inviting, so delicious. I think I'm going to start with a 2.5. I'm going to start pretty high here because it's quite inviting. It's a little bit out of the ordinary for me, like having this like floral, I'm almost not expecting it. But it's very well done, and it's not overpowering. It's not soapy or anything. So 2.5. What do you think, my friend?
Yeah, there's a really, really nice floral characteristic to it, like almost like an aromatic spice, like sage. But then you get like a little bit of lavender too, maybe like a little bit of citrus. You can pick any of those kinds of things out of there. Anything that's like a little bit fruity, a little bit citrusy in that sense. Friend, we didn't mention this is bottle conditioned, right? It'll play into the mouthfeel a little bit later on, but it's almost like a Brett beer in the sense of the aroma. It has a little bit of those floral without being made from Brettanomyces. Or maybe it is. Is it? It's not, right?
It's we don't know, man. Like, what it says on the website is brewed with 3 different kind of yeast, so that could quite possibly be. Who knows?
It could be a wild yeast.
It could be a wild yeast. It could be quite very well be.
I think 2.5 is the perfect score for this. It's delicious. I'm literally salivating, wanting to go in for a sip. All right, man. Time to taste this beer. Cheers.
Time to taste. Cheers.
Let's go in for a sip.
Cheers.
Oh my God. I haven't had this beer in a long time, like maybe 10 years, if not more. So I didn't remember. Oh, wow.
That keeps surprising, huh? Right? You think you're done, and it's not.
Oh, wow. You think you're done.
Whew. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. Like, it starts with that like floral notes, almost like, really jasmine-like. I like the descriptor use of lavender. There's almost like some of those notes, but then it transitions into this very woody character, almost oak-like without being very heavy. And then it turns into this malt presence, and then the hops shows up. And then it comes back to this almost like fruit-like character. I think citrus is a good, like you said, like almost like an orange peel. A candied orange peel. So complex, man. This is a 3 on 3. Like, I love the taste of this. Like, this is, I could keep going and talking and naming descriptors. This is very, very good. What do you think?
This is amazing, and it's making me really excited to taste the Nocturne, just from the quality of this. I remember it being quality, but I couldn't remember at all what this beer was like. You know when you have a really strong blonde ale like this, and right away you get this kick of like warmth in your chest, and this like really strong malt, this really strong malt kick, right? Like right at the beginning. And normally that stays and evolves into the finish and becomes something that's strong. This, you get a hint of that strong warming malt sensation at the beginning, but then it turns into something that I can't describe other than like butter. It becomes a very, it turns into a very buttery taste for me from that strong warm malt, and just boom, it's just smooth and it glistens away into the beer distance. This is a 3-on-3, a strong 3-on-3 taste. Now, mouthfeel for this bottle-conditioned Delirium Tremens. Let's do a little refresher.
Let's do it. I can feel the pink elephant starting here.
Yeah, I can already feel it. We're starting to get the pink elephant beer sweats. Whew. Whew.
All right.
So good.
Carbonation is very lively. Very nice burst. The moment you take a sip, it just like sits very nice on your palate, on your tongue, and it doesn't get oily. It just like cleanses your palate like very quickly.
Yeah.
I like the descriptor you used about like the buttery. I don't think we've used that like too much.
Are you getting the butter?
I see what you mean. Like it's more, to me, it's more on the mouthfeel, but I can definitely see what you mean. It's very smooth.
I even get it on
silky.
the taste.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's
wild.
The way it just coats your tongue, like it's like silk. Like it just like slides away, right?
Just
wizardry.
Dangerous beer, my friend.
Dangerous beer. Sorry, I was.
Yeah,
anyway.
a delirium tremens.
I hope not. Like I just had a couple of sips, but this is a tough one. I think I'm going to stick with the 3, man. I can't find anything to fault it. Like, what do you think? What's your opinion?
It's got a fantastic mouthfeel. It's really sharply carbonated. There's a million little bubbles that just dissolve on your tongue, but then it flows into what you just mentioned, the butteriness. Sort of like this creaminess, a refreshing creaminess that coats your mouth. Not like an oily stickiness like we say sometimes, like almost refreshing, like taking a sip of a cold glass of milk. Just sort of cleanses your palate. It cleanses your palate for you. You don't need anything else. It's just fantastic. It gets you ready for the next sip. This is a strong 3-on-3 mouthfeel, man. It's a shame that the aroma didn't get a 3, because we'd possibly be leaning towards a perfect beer at this point, but too bad the streak was broken in the aroma. But now, the finish, which is where all the magic happens, man. All the pink elephant magic. What do you think?
Let me take another reading here just to make sure.
You're encouraged to take constant readings throughout the process here. It's an ongoing process, my friend. It's not a one-sip wonder, as we like to say. It's a multiple sip.
It's a multi-sip wonder.
A multiple sip process.
So the incredible thing about this beer, I'm going to stress it again in case I didn't mention it enough in the taste. It's amazing how much of variation there is from the beginning to the end. I think it's absolutely incredible.
It's wonderful.
And there might be some connection to the reason why they say it's brewed with 3 different kinds of yeast. Like that might have a connection to it, but it really seems to me like it's taking you on a journey. It's really an incredible journey. You start a place, you think you know where you are, and then it takes a turn and you're in somewhere completely different. And then again, it turns again. And like all of a sudden in the finish, you have this very beautiful, complex malt presence with a slight edge of hops bitterness, all surrounded by these beautiful floral aromas. Like you're like in this garden and you don't even know how you got there. Like, I mean, it's with fruit laying on the table that has been cut for you. Like, I mean, it's a 3-on-3, man. Like, this is awesome.
You're skipping through a hallucinogenic beer garden, buddy. You don't know how you got there. You're smelling all the beer flowers. Every last one of them. It's you caught a beer flower.
No, there's something here, man. Like I'm telling you, it's
the finish is wonderful. And I'm gonna stick with that butter characteristic that I gave, and other people are gonna pull something else from that, but I really do get like a little bit of a milky, buttery component of the finish. Obviously, it's not strong. It's not the whole thing. The hops are very present. The malt's very present. It's just like silkily. It's silkily. Silkily dissolves into a milky, creamy beer ocean that leaves you wanting more. It's a 3-on-3 finish for me. This is fantastic. Character, taste, sensations that you get as well. It's part of the mouthfeel, but also part of the finish there. And it's just crisp, clean. It doesn't linger. There's no strong aftertaste like with some other 8.5% beers. And it makes it's just drinkable. Very, very, very drinkable. My God, would I love to try this beer on tap. Before I left Hamilton, there was a pub downtown that I saw, and they had the Delirium sign outside, and I never got to try it. I wanted to go and just try it on tap. I've never seen it anywhere else. As an overall beer experience, I mean, we've had the same scores, 2.5s and then 3s all the way through. Is it getting a 3 for you? Is it falling a little short because of the aroma? What do you think?
Before I'm going to give you that score, I'm just going to tie into your story, my friend, just because I want to try and support here. I know you didn't get to try it on tap. However, you know that the Delirium has like very specific glasses, right?
Buddy, that place I was telling you about, Peluso, in Montreal, where I go to buy my beer now? Yes. They had a set of 2 Delirium in 1 glass. And I was thinking about buying it to add to my collection, but not only would my wife kill me if I brought home more glasses, but it was like ridiculous. It was like $40. Ridiculously overpriced. But yeah, the glass is wonderful. So the curvy stem.
Yes, I think I've figured out why it's a curvy stem. And I don't think we should reveal it now. I think we should wait till the next episode. I think we should wait till the
Nocturne review. Yes.
Yes. I think we should promise our viewer we're going to give that reveal, but we're going to wait for the next episode. I feel like that's
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Coming up.
Stay tuned.
It's going to be a fantastic Nocturne review. And the Order of the Pink Elephant. It's going to be a fantastic episode coming up. A little mini beer documentary, if you will. Okay, but we need a score, my friend. Overall on 3.
I got it. Sorry, I digress too. But yeah, I mean...
That's fine. We're all about the beer digressions.
That's good. That's why it's such a pleasant experience here in the Beer Brackets pub. It's just always such an amazing experience.
Always, buddy.
But I think it's just all about the experience. And the experience is mind-blowing. Especially when you sit down and you analyze everything. So I think I'm going to stick with the 3, my friend. Like, I think really the aroma is just what's cutting you short from being in the perfect beer round table, like Beer Brackets round table. What do you think?
I think I'm going to go a little bit different from what you did. It's an amazing beer experience. I think the aura of this beer, everything to do with it, plays into it. We talk about intangibles. I think they do it better than, not better than anyone else, but as good as anyone else. The presentation with the bottle, with the ceramic sticker on the bottle to make it look a little different like that, to make it stand out. The pink elephant, all the legends and the stories behind it. And I remember growing up looking at this beer and seeing it in the beer fridges, almost like it was absinthe or something. Drink that beer, it's going to make you hallucinate. Kind of like this urban beer legend amongst people that would spread. It has that sort of memory in my mind, which is really cool. But if I look at the beer in itself, it's fantastic. It's really amazing at what it does. Can I go up to a 3 for this? Again, I'm going to give it a 3 on 3 overall. Definitely.
That's a great lead up, man.
Amazing. What more do you want? If you're in the mood for a strong blonde ale, come on, what more could you possibly want than a Delirium Tremens? This is fantastic. Delicious. Oh my God.
That was a very hallucinogenic lead up to that. Like, great, right? Man.
We're messing with everybody here. So we had the same scores all the way through, and it doesn't always happen, which comes out to a 4.83 on 5, which in our rating system is an outstanding beer for Delirium Tremens. Everybody let us know down below. Have you had the Tremens before? What do you think about it? Have you had the Nocturne? Are you looking forward to that review coming up? Are you seeing pink elephants around the room while sipping on this beer? Are you having some Delirium Tremens? After having 1 or 2 of these? Catching elephants.
Maybe, my friend, maybe. Say things. But no matter what, don't forget to close your beer brackets.
Never forget. And also, don't forget to click that little beer bell on the way out so you can join us in the pub next time. Cheers everybody. Till next time.